Hey everybody, this is Praxis. One aspect of prepping and preparedness that I don't think people talk enough about, and certainly don't think enough about, is the idea of taking things that we call problems, things that we think about as problems, and looking at them in a different way to figure out whether they might actually be a solution to something else, especially when you can kind of take two problems, marry them together, and they suddenly cancel each other out and create a solution for whatever your situation is. Now, those solutions can be complicated. They are really specific on what the situation is, so I can't give you an easy x plus y equals z equation and it's like suddenly there's your solution. But I can give you an example, and it's sitting right here behind me. This is a big brush pile. While we were having the site cleared for building our house, there was an opportunity for us to pay extra to the landscaping people who were clearing and pulling up all these stumps and things. We could have paid them extra to take this stuff and haul it to a magical land called Away. I think it was like $2,000 or so to take all this waste material and get rid of it. I chose not to do that for a couple of reasons. One is I saved $2,000, and the other is that this is not waste, this is valuable material, and it's especially valuable to me right now because what I was also low on, in addition to money, was time. While I was building the house, I did not put any effort into getting firewood for the house. I really wanted to get us moved in before the winter, and we are moved in, but we are pretty light on firewood. Until you look at this pile and say, hey, that's a really big pile of firewood. So I'm out here and I'm just trimming pieces off of this. Now, it's not the best firewood in the world. I'd love to have big logs that are already seasoned and dried and sitting in my greenhouse or something like that. But it burns and it's keeping us warm. In about a half an hour, I can create enough firewood from this pile to keep us warm for like a day or a day and a half. And there are all sorts of situations that just abound in our world that are like that. And unfortunately, a lot of them are kind of seen as political situations. Like if you have an opinion on it, it's like, oh, that's a political opinion. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know, but there are so many issues in our world that people see as being problems where if you just combine them with something else, it's like, wow, you magically have a solution. Just one example is, here in the United States, we like to not pay very much for things. We like to have food that's really cheap, and to make that food, it takes a lot of effort. The jobs of people harvesting food, picking food, it's hard work, and because we don't want to pay very much for our food, there's not a lot of pay for that kind of work. And people see that as a problem. They want to keep getting their food for really cheap, but it's hard to get people that want to do the work because it's hard, laborious work, and it doesn't pay very well because people don't want to spend very much on the food that they're buying. So that's one problem. And then we have this other, quote unquote problem that there are tons and tons of people that would love to come into this country from outside this country and do those kind of jobs. And people see that as a problem. We don't want those people in here. And by we, I mean specifically the people that have a problem with that. I don't particularly have a problem with it because if you look at those two quote unquote problems, they seem like they're just waiting to get married to each other. It seems like a solution waiting to happen. Now, not everybody sees it that way. Some people just like to see those two things as being problems. Prices of food are so high. There's all these people that want to come in and do it for really low cost. But if you can see in your life things that can be married together to create a solution out of two things that you see are problems, it can make your life a whole lot better, a whole lot easier. And one rule of thumb when you're looking for something like that is look at things that we consider as quote unquote waste. Like this stuff, it was considered a waste product. If you think about waste and try to look at it in a different way, oftentimes waste has a lot of value. There are really great things about waste. This waste is going to be firewood for me, which is free. It takes my time, but it's free. There's leaves in here, which are going to be wildlife habitat. They're decomposing. They're going to improve the soil. That's what most people would call as waste. To me, seems like an asset. Whether your waste material is a pile of wood or whether your waste material that you want to get rid of is people or whatever, if you can get past the idea of thinking this is waste, I got to get rid of this, and think, there's some value there, and I think that this, married to another problem could create a solution to, both of those issues, you can make your life a lot easier. And that's all I have to say about that. Look in your own life. Are there things that you think of as waste? Do they have value? Can you capitalize on that value and use that knowledge, that different perspective to make your life easier? That's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for new videos all the time. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can do so either through Patreon or PayPal.